The presenting sponsor of Upmarket is Fotello, the best AI editing platform. Snap, upload, and deliver at fotello.co. Coming to you from the Upmarket studio in beautiful San Buenaventura, California. This is Upmarket, a podcast about the business of real estate photography and media. My name is Reed Fish. I'm the CEO and a co-founder of Upmarket Media, and Mark Corcoran, 2 in a row, buddy.
Look at me, man. Dang.
Look at you. Still in the construction zone here at the new studio, but we just had some consultants come in today.
That was fun, yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting the plan dialed in. We're getting our gear dialed in. So we're looking for some big changes coming up.
Exactly. So hopefully every show you're going to see a few different things we're going to be adding, and hopefully we'll have some bigger changes for next week. I don't know. We'll see. But next week there will be a show because we are a weekly show now.
Right?
Yeah.
The show must go on, and you might be hearing my voice. I'm a little below the weather, but it's like, not that we needed more sexy, but we're adding a little more sexy to the show today.
You got I have a cold rasp. So that's, I love to hear that. And then, of course, producing, we have Molly Peart. Molly. Hi, off camera. If you're watching on YouTube, which if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, get over there and do that. Please. We have a special show that we want to talk about, like one specific topic. But first, before we get started, I do want to shout out that the Architecture and Design Summit is coming up March 4th through 5th in Austin, Texas. There's going to be a crazy amount of great speakers there. Really, if you are interested in the architecture and design side of kind of our industry, I could not recommend more highly to go to this.
There's a lot of heavy hitters there for this year.
Absolutely. So check it out. It's ad-photosummit.com. And look, if you want to use the code Upmarket, it's all caps Upmarket, you're going to get $250 off. Oh, sounds really good. Mm-hmm. We're in the new year, and there's new laws in the new year every year. And here in California, where we live, and many of our listeners also live, we have Assembly Bill, it's 723?
There you go,
yeah,
723.
Yeah. I got it. Which very specifically talks about AI and kind of truth in advertising. And it is causing some changes in workflows for any real estate photographer in California. And we want to go a little more in depth into that today, because even if you're not in California, I think this is something you really need to be aware of. It's something that will end up affecting you at some point, because I think everywhere is kind of heading this way. It may not be it's probably not going to be the exact same language or whatever as California, but I'm pretty certain that this is coming for everybody.
Yeah. I feel like AI just moves so quickly right now. Finally, lawmakers and MLSs are starting to catch up with, hey, wait a second, we need to kind of put some parameters around this, or make sure everyone's on the same page with it.
Yeah. So bear with us. We're actually going to read the text of the bill. We're actually going to have Molly do that.
Even better. And
so, Molly, why don't you give it a whirl, and we will, maybe we'll speed it up if it's really,
if it's really long.
Yeah, if it's really long.
Yeah, I think this will be helpful, because there's already chatter in the groups online and people interpreting it in certain ways.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to start with what the actual bill is, right? And then kind of go from there.
And then we can throw our interpretations out, which are obviously the correct ones.
Yeah. 100%. Let's go.
All right. Assembly Bill 723. As it reads, it says a real estate broker or salesperson or person acting on their behalf who includes a digitally altered image in an advertisement or other promotional material for the sale of a real property shall include a statement disclosing that the image has been altered and a link to a publicly accessible internet website URL or QR code that includes and clearly identifies the original unaltered image. The statement shall be reasonably conspicuous, and located on or adjacent to the image, and shall include language indicating that the unaltered images can be accessed on the linked internet website URL or QR code. So that's number one. Number two, if an advertisement or promotional material described in paragraph 1 is posted on an internet website over which the real estate broker or salesperson or person acting on their behalf has control, they shall include the unaltered version of the images from which the digitally altered images were created in the posting. A person subject to this paragraph may comply with this requirement by including a link to a publicly accessible internet website that includes and clearly identifies the original unaltered image. If the real estate broker or salesperson or person acting on their behalf complies with this requirement by including a link to the unaltered images by the statement required by paragraph 1, shall include language indicating the unaltered images can be accessed on the linked internet website URL and on QR code. Yeah.
Is that it?
That's A. So now...
Okay. Are we natching it? We're still here. We're still
here.
Okay.
Now we're on to B.
Yeah.
For purposes of this section, digitally altered image means an image created by or at the direction of a real estate broker or salesperson or person acting on their behalf that has been altered through the use of photo editing software or artificial intelligence to add, remove, or change elements in the image, including but not limited to fixtures, furniture, appliances, flooring, walls, paint color, hardscape, landscape, facade, floor plans, and elements outside of or visible from the property, including but not limited to streetlights, utility poles, views through windows, and neighboring properties.
That's a very important part.
So that's the crux of the detail, yeah.
Yes. Okay, and B number 2, that I just read number 1. Number 2 reads, digitally altered image does not include an image where only lighting, sharpening, white balance, color correction, angle straightening, cropping, exposure, or other common photo editing adjustments are made that do not change the representation of the real property.
All right.
That was just section 1, everyone.
Yeah. But that's good. I mean, I think that's
it. Yeah. Section 2 is just something, it's just almost like a...
Yeah, it's like about reimbursement.
Yeah. So thank you, Molly, because we always like to start our shows with a bang. And that was really exciting.
Very much. The government stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's a lot, but it's like, how do we interpret that, right? It's like, and there's just so many ways to go about it.
So I think just to nutshell it is basically like, if you're doing anything like virtual staging or item removal or, I think day to night transitions and, we'll see.
That's a big one. That's the virtual twilight thing.
But I think without a doubt, if you're doing virtual staging or, item removal, those things need to be, you need to disclaim that and link and provide, basically we need to provide to our clients the altered photo and the unaltered photo.
Right.
And I think, and that doesn't mean though, it's the unaltered photo, meaning it's the raw photo, meaning it's the finished edited photo that is like done in the real estate style where, we've straightened straightened the verticals and done brightness and, combining.
So you got a fully
HDR
edited vacant
images,
shot and then a fully edited virtually staged shot. That's kind of a no-brainer. Yeah.
It's just all about transparency.
Yeah, exactly. Overall, how do we feel about this?
Yeah, I mean, I feel it's going to probably be a little more work, right, on the back end workflow for us because we're going to have, when we display the virtually staged image, you're going to have a watermark on it or a QR code linking to that other image. I think for our workflow, it's going to just have a watermark on it and then directly after it, display the unaltered image.
Yeah. So like when we deliver we always put our photos in order, or quote unquote order. And so you would have, I think, the virtually staged photo with the watermark. And then right after that would come the non-virtually staged.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like, obviously putting this into the MLS, the agents are going to have both of those photos side by side.
Right.
And if they're putting it in a carousel post on Instagram or on Facebook with multiple photos, they're going to have the altered and the unaltered photo kind of next to each other. But I feel like our property websites that we're creating in Aereo are going to kind of serve as like if they need to link back to something, if they don't want to show the unaltered photo, say in a brochure or a flyer, it'll have to say that it's altered and then have a QR code link.
Right.
And that link can link back to our property website can maybe be with the base of where all those photos are.
Yeah. And the way I read it, it feels like there can be like if on an Instagram, you can have the QR code in your Instagram post. And, I think when it's on the MLS is going to make you put them side by side, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I think anywhere else, like, I don't think you have to show the image right next to it as long as the realtor is providing a link. And so I think, we may need to start providing QR codes to realtors because God knows they're not going to be able to figure out how to make them.
Right. Well, the beauty of using Aereo is it creates the QR code for your property website right away. So you can just grab that and we can show them how to access that pretty easily. Rather than having to create it for each image or whatever, we just have all of them in the property website. Here's your QR code.
Right.
And boom, they're done.
Yeah. No, that's easy. Yeah, because I think our websites can just function as the dropping out, because it doesn't specify that link needs to be a link to only that particular unaltered photo,
right,
or that it's the group of unaltered photos. I think it can be all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. They're just all behind one link, and that's super easy. So yeah, to me, the virtual staging's kind of clear cut, right?
Yeah.
That's the obvious one. It's all the other stuff that we kind of maybe manipulate or change that we're trying to figure out how to navigate.
Yeah. So I think the bill did talk about, the typical things that you would do, brightening and merging HDR and, verticals and all that. No problem.
Yeah.
That's
standard
standard
practice, right?
Yeah. The kind of photography practices. So it's the stuff that falls out of that. And I think the one that I've seen the most questions about is sky replacements.
Yeah. That's a tricky one.
Yeah. I don't think it's that tricky.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends how you read the law and interpret it, I guess, because it's like...
Well, I choose to do it the way that's most convenient for me.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah. I mean, we can get to it in a little bit, because the MLSs are already starting to come out with their interpretations of it, and they're not mentioning anything about sky replacements. They're mentioning kind of real property, if you're affecting power poles or furniture or walls or anything that's like real, actual property that you can, tangibly hold. Mm-hmm. Whereas a sky replacement is a view from a property, but it's just kind of maybe in that gray area of like, let's wait and see.
The thing about it is there's no way you can ever prove that, unless there's a digital watermark in the edited photo, you can't prove that sky was not the sky that day, or was never there. I mean, it's just because the sky changes every second of every day.
Yeah.
So it's just a snapshot of this thing, and it's it's a representation of it. And if your editors are doing good, clean sky replacements, and they're not messing with the trees or power lines or mountains or whatever, and it's, just changing the shade of blue or adding a cloud, then it's, exactly.
To me,
or just, taking
normal.
Overcast and turning it sunny. I mean, I think to me, that's straightforward. I think the one thing that I've always thought that you could theoretically get in hot water with the sky replacements, even before this law, was in moments where it is more of a twilight sky replacement, where, you see that twilight sky and you're just like, wait, because that view is facing north, you're never going to see a sky like that if you're facing north.
Yeah.
Ever.
You're like, oh, it looks like the sun's set right there, but that's kind of impossible, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think I've always thought that, but then you can say, well, it was this, it was the sunrise. And so that's how you can, but at the same time, if it's north, whatever, that's parsing it. Someone would really have to really dig down into it and to have a problem with it. But I've kind of always thought that. But I think just the general, just making a blue sky, which is kind of what we do on almost every image. It's kind of
standard, because even if it's blue, we make it bluer, or if it's plain, we maybe add a cloud or whatever, and then the team does. So it's...
Yeah.
But there's, some people in our community that kind of had differing views, so it's kind of be interesting to see.
Yeah. I just think that the sky, just practically, because sky replacement is so common, that, and you can, I think, make a strong case that it doesn't materially affect you're not changing an element of the property. I just think no one's going to want to police that.
Yeah. Because like you said, it's impossible to police because there's no way to know.
Yeah. And people don't want I think realtors are not going to want that disclaimer on every single photo that they're posting.
No, that would not be practical, obviously.
Yeah. Or it just doesn't look good. I mean, that's the thing. It's like you have all that stupid text on there.
And then you go to a gray sky, then a blue, then a gray, then it was just like, it would be silly.
Yeah. That's not that great. But what about item removal?
That seems pretty clear cut to me too. I mean, you're not necessarily changing the structure of the property, but you don't, especially the editor doesn't know what's behind that wall. So they're kind of guessing that it's just the same wall or the same continuous structure or whatever. So they're just kind of making it up, really, or they're adding floor where they think the floor goes. So to me, it's like,
or even just that you're just cloning the wall, and I'm sure it's that same exact shade, but there could have been a scratch right there, and you just don't know.
Maybe there's an outlet that they couldn't see or whatever it is.
Yeah. So
that to me seems pretty clear cut that needs to be listed, labeled.
Yeah. What about item removal in the neighbor's property? The neighbor's got the trash cans out front, right? And you catch it on the side of your photo and you don't want to crop in any further. And we erase those trash cans because we're not selling the neighbor's house.
Right. It did mention something about neighboring properties in there, but you're not really affecting the property. You're affecting a trash can that's just blocking the street, and you remove that.
Right.
So all you're replicating is the street, right?
But I'm thinking of the trash can that's up against the neighbor's fence on the neighbor's property, and you basically, to remove that, you're cloning the fence, and you're kind of insinuating what the fence is.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where it gets a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would. I don't know if there's a storage container, a pod blocking half the garage, and you pull that out.
Oh yeah, I think you got
then that seems pretty obvious.
Yeah,
but if it's
pretty
a garbage,
obvious that you have to label that.
Label it, list it. It's like been altered.
Yeah, but I think stuff like that where it's trash cans on the neighbor's property or whatever is something that's pretty. We do a lot, I think, because you just don't want those trash cans there. And I have never worried about it too much because I'm like, it's the neighbor's property. Like,
we're kind of I'm not selling the neighbor's fence or driveway or whatever. Yeah, or if it's in a drone shot and you're pulling a car out of the street or something, then it's much more minor and it's not affecting your property that you're focusing on.
Right.
So, I mean, maybe to the letter of the law, that's like, should be disclosed, but it just will depend on how we want to go about each one. I don't know. It's tricky. We just had a client reach out yesterday. Okay. Say, hey, we're not allowed to have fake fires in fireplaces now. We have 2 listings that have fake fires. Can you go in and take them out? And I didn't want to write a back email. Well, you are allowed to have them. You just have to list that they're fake. And I'm sure they don't want every photo with a fake fire saying digitally altered. So I went back in and pulled the fake fires out of the fireplaces and resent the images. So that's another one. You got a photo of a living room. You're not changing anything in the living room. You're just putting a little flame in the fireplace.
Yeah. But that's, I mean, I kind of don't mind that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's always been, back when I first started, I would actually light fires in the fireplace. I would actually just burn newspaper and then, creates a nice roaring fire for 5 seconds and you get a beautiful shot.
Your money shot. Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks way better than the fake fires do because it makes the whole thing glow and it looks, it's a real fire. So, but there were moments when you're just not sure if the fireplace actually works, right? And so you don't do it. And now so many have ceramic stuff in there or whatever. It's a little more impractical. You don't see as many that are just straight up, like
just
a wood burning fireplace. Yeah.
Is it gas? Is it wood? Are you putting the right kind of fire?
Yeah. It's just not. Yeah. And so, but now when we're putting in those fake fires, you do have to make sure you're doing the right kind of fire because if they're a gas fire, well, is there the ceramic logs? And then is it you have those that are just the bar and just the flames come up and I mean,
I went through a period before we merged where I was doing it like standard on everything. Just because and I don't know why I got into that groove, but I just had my editors just add, and it was the same flame, the same fire in every single fireplace. People liked it. Yeah. And then we moved away from it, and now we have been doing it just by request.
Yeah, exactly.
If the agent's on site, the home, can you put a fire in there? I'm like, as long as the fireplace is working, we'll do the fire.
Yeah, exactly.
But now I'm kind of feeling like, let's not even mess with that anymore.
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean,
it's like that'll simplify our workflow a lot.
Yeah, I think it's kind of by request only. And if it's requested, we have to note that we have to disclaim it.
Yeah. And it's easier than ever. Like we can do it in Fatella. They have 4 or 5 fires. You drag the fires in and whatever one you want, it's in there. Yeah. It's easy, but it doesn't mean we need to be doing it standard.
Yeah, no, because it still takes, time, not that much.
Yeah,
but
and it's our VA who's doing it, and he doesn't know if it's a gas fire or wood fire or whatever. So it's like
no, and it can be tricky. Like if you're taking in more of an angled shot of a room, and then there's something on the on the hearth next to and it kind of blocks the fire. And
that's where it gets tricky.
Yeah, it can. I had to do one where we got the request, and it was the weekend, and I had to damn do it. And you were off gallivanting, and I had to do it. And it was a pain in my goddamn ass.
Right.
I was like, I don't even know how to do this.
When the fireplace is clear and open, you're like, boom, easy, right?
Easy, but, well, and then especially if it's not a straight on shot, you got to angle the fire to have perspective.
Yeah. I mean, if we completely lose fake fires, then I'm fine with it. I think it's great.
No, that's a win.
Yeah.
Thank you, California lawmakers.
Right.
Yeah. You just made our lives easier.
Yeah. So that's one where I feel like we can just, the law changed and we're not doing fake fires anymore.
Yeah.
That can just be our kind of standard MO.
Well, I noticed that your competitor is.
Compared to maybe breaking the laws.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, if you want to be a scofflaw, you go with them. But at Upmarket, we do it by the book.
So there's other things, right? Like what about data dusk or virtual twilights? Because those can get like, you're obviously putting in the sky, but then you're also illuminating windows. You're turning on lights that you don't know if they work or not. So to me, that feels like the virtual twilights. To be safe, we should be labeling those, which may mean people don't want them anymore if they got a big label on them.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to push back on that a little bit. I think people will want them because I think a lot of people do the virtual twilights just in order to have that twilight sky when you're looking at the grid of things on the MLS.
You want the thumbnail image to pop, right?
That it's not about having the most beautiful image as the hero image for their print marketing or whatever. I mean, although they do that too, but I don't know.
But now it's going to have a digitally altered thing on it or a QR code on it. It's not going to be as sexy as they want it to be.
No, it will not. But it's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not that sexy anyway.
I know they're people love them, people hate them, but yeah. What if you're, we just need a upmarket stance, I guess. If we're doing virtual twilights, everyone needs to be labeled. And
I would think so. Because you are kind of affected. Yeah, you're right. Because it's not about the sky. It's about the fact that it's going to put lights where it's guessing lights are.
Yeah. You're illuminating windows and you're not necessarily changing structural elements.
No. But you were making assumptions about what works and what does not work in the home.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing as the fireplace. If you know the fireplace works, you can put a fake fire in. But if you know that light doesn't work, you can't illuminate. You can't have that light.
Yeah. If there's a string of 10 landscape lights and only 3 of them work, but you turn them all on, then
yeah, exactly. And and you say, oh well, it just needs the bulb replaced. Oh well, does it actually? We just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So that feels like there's enough modifications where we would want to label that.
Yeah. And then on some of the, basically you're also, the AI technology is so good now that it can really do a lot even with on those virtual twilights with the shadows, where like the shadows that were there in the daytime image, it's just getting rid of those and it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I know. A virtual twilight with harsh daylight shadows always looked totally odd.
And that's, I think, why people truly hate the virtual twilights. That's why photographers despise them. Yeah. I think it's the shadows. The other stuff, they may hate that too, but I don't think.
The windows are too yellow, or this is too that. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. So, but again, you're erasing shadows. I mean, if it was a cloudy day, I don't know.
I know. Yeah. So what about if we're doing a real twilight? We're doing, like I just did one last week. Did a real twilight shoot. There was a fire pit in the backyard. Pool lights weren't working, so we didn't mess with those. I don't really ever have pool lights turned on if they're not working.
Right.
Because again, you don't know if they work or broken or it's a bulb.
Pool lights are broken so often anyway.
Yeah. But there's a giant fire pit in this, forefront of the frame. Oh, you want a fire in there. So the whole twilight image pops. So you're modifying the sky. We had a fake fire put in.
Yeah. Well, a fire pit, it doesn't bother me because it's just all the fire pits work.
There's a lot of gas fire pits, and some of them don't necessarily work that are hardwired gas.
Those don't work, but I'm just saying if it's like a old school fire pit.
Right. So it's it's just like,
where you put wood in, then just we'll burn some wood, but
yeah. So again, our editor or our person shooting may not know the difference between a gas fire pit, a wood fire pit. No. Suddenly the editor just put a bunch of logs together with a huge roaring fire.
Right.
We're kind of misrepresenting the fire pit.
We are. Man, are we good people? I don't know. I feel like we're a bunch of liars.
We're trying to make pretty images, but now we have certain restrictions. So we want to make sure we're.
Yeah. Yeah, we shouldn't do that.
No. Or if we do, we have to label it. Yeah. And nobody wants a big twilight photo labeled if that's their money shot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Check out this and the QR code. Yeah.
So that's another one where we have to figure out what other scenarios can we, I think that's kind of the main scenarios.
Yeah. That's a lot of scenarios. I think we can think of some more scenarios. So let's think about it during the social media sidebar We'll come back. We'll do more scenarios. And then we also have some feedback for what the California MLS is saying. We can kind of go over that so we can get their interpretation, because that's probably matters more than our interpretation.
I think that's going to be what matters most, when it comes down to it, how we interpret it and how agents are going to come hounding us for what they need. So.
Yeah, and a lot of this is just educating ourselves so we know what to tell our agents, and we know how to advise. We're not giving them legal advice, of course, but we know how to advise them. So stick around for that scintillating conversation, but we're going to have social media sidebar, and then we are going to end with action items. To me, one of the big things that we want to think about when we're thinking about AI is how can it actually help us? How can it improve our workflows? And we found, Mark, you know what I'm going to say. Fotello has helped us immeasurably. So Fotello is AI editing.
Yeah, I'd say what we love is AI on the front end, but it's human on the back end, right? So it's kind of a cool hybrid.
Well, exactly. And so there's the thing. So if there's ever, you put all the photos, you put all your RAW or your JPEGs into Fotello, turns it around in minutes, and you have the finished photos. If there's ever an issue, they have human-based editors that can do the revisions. But I do want to tell you, with the release of the new Photon 6.0.
6.0, yeah, it's impressive.
The human revision rate on all photos is down to under 1%. So I would say that almost never have to send any photos back.
Yeah, you're talking about 1 out of every 100 photos, if that. So that's pretty impressive.
And even for us, I would say the revision rate is lower.
Yeah, definitely.
So we have found that it really increases. It helps all of our workflows down. From it's easy for our VA to put the photos in there and process them and then get them back to us immediately. It is our turnaround times have shrunk. We can now offer same day
turnaround,
same day delivery on photos. So it's pretty incredible, and that is an upcharge we get to do. So and there's a whole other suite of services that are in there as well. So you can actually book and deliver. You can deliver right from Fotello. And then the other thing is, I know you want to try it because AI editing is kind of all the rage, and Fotello is kind of the best in the market. Is you can pay as you go. So that is great. So you don't have to have any big commitment. And even with pay as you go, we can kind of make you pay $0 as you go to start. So you can get 25 free listings, which is kind of up to a $500 value. And you can get that at fotello.co and use the code Upmarket25, all caps Upmarket25 at fotello.co. That's FOTELLO.co. We're still around New Year's, and I think one of the things that I think a lot of people like to do around New Year's is assess their subscriptions and get rid of unnecessary ones, because you're like, how much money am I spending on this stuff every single month? And there's one certain 3D platform that does charge a subscription fee, and let me tell you, it is not iGuide.
That's true. Don't have to worry about that with iGuide.
No, because iGuide is pay per project, which I love.
When you need it, you pay for it. When you don't, you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Simple.
And not only when you pay, it's affordable when you pay for it too. It's the best of everything. And plus, of course, it is quick, it's accurate, it's a great user experience on the capture end, and it's a great user experience on the consumer end. You can just do those iGuide tours. You're just cruising through.
They have their iGuide Instant if you need it instantly, if you need the premium, if you need the CAD files, all that stuff. It's all baked in there.
Oh, God. And it's so accurate. It's just so accurate. Yeah. And the iGuide Instant, we use the Theta camera. We've been doing some iGuides. I'm happy to say
busting out the R1. Love that thing, man.
The clients are loving it. So we are all on the iGuide train here. So, and what are we going to do? We're going to go to goiGuide.com and check out all they have to offer. Do it.
Come on, get onto it.
Yeah. Oh, people, come on. We are Upmarket Pod across all social media. Instagram. Are we posting on TikTok now?
We are just about to get started too. Okay,
good. Okay, that is Molly.
Look out, people.
As the new producer here, that's one of her jobs going to be. And then, of course, YouTube. We are trying to grow our YouTube channel. So it's up to you guys, honestly. We're going to be posting on it, and we have been. And but we're Upmarket Pod on YouTube, so check it out.
Yeah, why listen to us when you can watch us?
Yeah, watching is so much more fun.
I know. You just wait till you see what I'm wearing.
Or not wearing.
Which red shoes does he have on today?
Yeah, a different pair than recently. And then whatever, we're upmarket.media, of course, on Instagram if you want to see all the pictures of houses that we take.
And our fun content.
Yes, and our fun content. So in social media land, we were just kind of talking, one of the things that now that Molly's producing and we're kind of revamping, rethinking the pod social media is the things we've been working on are thumbnails and then, having pinned posts.
Right. Just the structure of your feed. When someone clicks on your profile, do you want to see a bunch of random videos or do you want to kind of know what you're clicking into? So it kind of gives you guys an idea of the page and what is this podcast about?
Yes. And is there like one of us drinking?
No, there's, you can always see the drink with the koozie in the side of the image.
We're on brand.
We have our Upmarket koozies. Okay, perfect.
Sometimes you're holding it. Sometimes it's on the side table.
I'll hold it right now.
Yeah, I heard beer is good for sore throats. That's why I'm sipping away today.
There you go.
Exactly. It's all those hops. And I think we have a mixture of like photo and video in our posts.
Right.
Probably a lot of people want to have video, but it's all right.
Yeah, I mean, today, for example, with the SWOT analysis,
our episode came out.
Yes, it came out today, and I did an introduction to the episode just through an image, and it was technically I just re-altered the thumbnail that I used on YouTube, but I set it to an Instagram post structure, and it's fun. It gives the audience an idea of what they're going to be watching, and then I'll release a reel later in the day that also gives. Get everyone excited to watch the episode. I think that's why watching it is great. And for having those little clips and images on our Instagram feed, it'll draw more attention for the YouTube, I believe.
Yeah. Well, and I think having thumbnails, because when you're posting reels, you can also make a thumbnail for that.
That's a cover.
A cover.
There you go. Yeah.
And
cover
I think,
photo.
We're working on making our thumbnails on YouTube a little more engaging because forever... again, we kind of half-assed the YouTube, and it was just like our logo.
Your logo, right?
Yeah. And so now, we're doing, more. And you see these kind of. You go on YouTube; these are the kind of thumbnails you see where there shows us, and it shows.
You want to know who the guest is too. Yeah. If it's just your logo, no offense, it's just like, okay, what is this?
Yeah,
you see the caption.
Not engaging whatsoever.
No, I feel like for me personally, I'd rather click on. In a video.
Would, and that's why we're doing that because, before it was just like, I'm going to upload the thing and I'm not going to make a freaking thumbnail. Yeah. And like, I output in Canva, I did a 16:9 version of the logo. So just put it on there. Perfect. Great.
Now we have a thumbnail maker.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
So I do think that is something to think about because and I'm thinking about too, as you think of your grid, which I don't know, do people think about the grid so much in Instagram anymore?
I mean, for me, it's all about aesthetics. It can depend on the person, but you want to create like your brand through your feed and what vibe are you trying to give off? Obviously, it's like fun, spunky, creative,
irreverent.
Yeah, that. So I mean, it depends on your brand, but for me, I've never been like, we have to do all beige or, it's,
or every third post has to be this. Or
you would be fired if you did that. Yeah,
exactly. I know. New Year's post. We won't go back there. We got to keep it on brand.
Well, no, we can talk about that. Actually,
I missed this because I was out.
Molly got in trouble.
I did. First time.
Yeah.
Can't say sorry anymore.
Well, basically, she did what any good social media manager would do. And she made up like Happy New Year post.
From the Upmarket team.
And because Molly, of course, works for the podcast, but she also works for Upmarket Media and is our Upmarket Media social media manager. And so she did the post, hey, Happy New Year from the Upmarket family. And perfect. But she did it for the podcast too. And I was like, that's not really on brand. I was like, when would we ever earnestly wish someone a Happy New Year or Merry Christmas? That's not how we do it.
What would you have recommended I said though? Or just nothing or just maybe a twist on happy.
You know, it would have been like make it about, hey, I hope you get
drink a ton.
Of beer.
Don't drink as much as Reed this New Year's.
I hope you're not too hungover on this New Year.
Yes.
You know,
I'm getting used to that.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's actually like when that. It is funny, and in no way, shape, or form was I ever mad about it or anything like that.
Yeah,
it was just something that when I saw it come up, and you didn't say you were going to post it ahead of time. I was like, it just felt wrong. And of course, it was a nice thing, and it was like I appreciate the thought, but it was like, it just didn't fit.
Doesn't have the personality of the Upmarket Pod.
Yeah. You know, I had switching mindsets from just the Upmarket media professionalism. You know, I'm trying to portray, and then switching to Upmarket Pod. I'm like, okay. I got to think like, what would Reed do? That's going to be the question in my head.
Good luck figuring that out.
What would Reed want to do and actually not get around to doing?
Yes.
Well, no, and that is it, because I think it's a good lesson for all of us in just having kind of brand, not harmony, but like consistency, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think if I'm talking about what our quote unquote brand is for the podcast, it is kind of irreverent. I mean, we take the subject seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. And I think if you've listened to the show, you know I can get sappy and earnest at times, but not in those kind of generic ways. It really has to be like authentic, and that just felt. I think that's what it was. It felt inauthentic to us and the brand, Well,
when I first started, just managing Upmarket Pod, I think you posted, it was on a Friday and you had to do like this last minute thing. Yeah. And I was still new to the Upmarket team, but it was just like, what am I effing doing here? And I was I almost slacked Reed and was like, was that intentional? And then now,
this is out in the world, right?
Yeah.
You're like,
now
holy
I'm like,
shit, freaking out.
I'm like, okay, Andy posted it to story, so that was definitely intentional.
Yeah.
So if that gives you an idea of what Upmarket Pod is,
well,
funny.
We're corrupting.
And now that you've been to PMRE, you know the industry, you know the people, you know the kind of vibe, the energy.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why, I love just the versatility of like having Upmarket Media. That's like my professional side. And then, Upmarket Pod is just creative and fun.
Yeah. So, okay, good talk. But I do just want to wish everyone a happy New Year from our Upmarket family.
Yes. Have a drink on us.
All right, we're gonna come back. We're gonna get more in the weeds on this bill, and then we're gonna end with a couple action items. So all these companies now are having what they're calling customer success representatives or customer success people.
Managers or whatever.
Managers, I don't know their damn
I'm
stupid,
your CSM.
I'm your CSM. I don't know your stupid title. Right. But you know what? We just had a call with a customer success specialist from Aereo.
Yeah.
And it was great.
It was like, well, this is awesome.
I feel very successful now. And I'm a customer.
Right.
So
we basically analyzed our whole back end, looked at our order forms, looked at all this stuff, and like, you could tweak this or tweak that. And we're like,
cool. Someone who knows Aereo inside and out, it was like, you can optimize if you do this, you can do that. And it wasn't just like a big upsell either. It was like, hey, and in fact, there was one feature, he was like, because you can do payroll in Aereo, something we don't talk about because it's not really right for us. And he was saying, given these 5 things you've said about your payroll, it is not right for you. You probably need a little more of a robust solution. So I really felt coming out of that call, I was like, this is actually going to make our business better.
Yeah, no, I felt really good. And then he sent a follow-up email, these talking points and follow-up stuff.
And then we didn't even have to pay anything for it. I mean, just our normal.
It felt very VIP and very nice.
Yeah, and I think that just goes to show that Aereo is continually dedicated to its customers getting the most out of its product. Because one of the things about Aereo is there's so much there that sometimes we don't know how to utilize all the things just because we haven't explored it.
You just get stuck in your lane. Like we stayed away from the scheduling thing for a while, and then when we went all in on that, it was like game changer.
Yeah, so much better. So I think if you want to be a customer and have success and talk to a customer success manager or specialist.
Something like that.
So go to Aereo.com and sign up for yourself, and you can use the code Upmarket and you get 15 free bonus listings. So, Mark, we're in this process of getting our new studio done. And,
yes, we are.
Because I have my other show, I Love You So Much, and we actually hired the producers to come in and consult with us on how to make our whole setup better. And they were in here today walking around, we're going through the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And he looks at me and he said, "Oh, man, this is great. Let me put it together. God, I wish we had a floor plan."
Yeah, I said, "Can I get some measurements?" We're like,
"Oh, do you?" Because have I got a solution for you?
Mm-hmm. And you're like, "I got a floor plan. I'll send it right over." Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, shoot, too easy.
And it's a floor plan made by Second Floor app. Yeah. Because look, Second Floor, you can take out your iPhone, use that Second Floor app, and you can walk around any space, including like this, a commercial space, which is not a home, and you're going to get an accurate floor plan instantly.
Yeah, and our space, it has a weird angled wall and a little cubby, and it just like
there's some juts, and juts. And a tiny bathroom with the world's lowest toilet.
Yes,
I cannot. The toilet is it's almost a squat toilet, but it is actually a toilet. So
the Second Floor captured it.
Yeah,
nailed
exactly. In fact, how many inches is that toilet? And so with Second Floor app, you of course can get all the instantly, so you can upsell if your client needs a floor plan that instant. They're impatient bastard realtor. You can send it right over to them. And charge you for that stuff. So go to secondfloorapp.com/upmarket. You are going to get a free month of service. So that Second Floor app, all spelled out. We're talking about California Assembly Bill 723, which regulates AI advertising effectively. Specifically in the real estate world.
Truth in advertising for real estate listings.
Advertising for real estate. So in the first half, we read the bill. We went over, some scenarios. Did we think of more scenarios?
Yes, aerial pins.
Aerial pins.
Yes.
This seems absurd to me.
It does. But it's just something I threw on there because I'm like, you are modifying the image. You're adding something to it. It's not the natural image, but it's seems a bit silly.
But is there any person in the world who is like, I cannot believe there is a giant push pin next to this house.
Right. Just sitting on the house.
Yeah. Like that's like 4 stories tall.
It depends on how much of the letter of the law you want to follow this thing or how much you want to just kind of interpret it to like
I like
practicality.
to just have my own interpretations for things. And it's like me with the speed limit. Yeah. It's a guide.
80-ish.
It's a guide.
I noticed that on the way to Vegas. So.
Oh, yeah.
We made it there.
I noticed that on the way to Vegas, you were just sitting there. Oh, could you drive slower? I just want this to take longer.
You can see me white knuckling it.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't really see
a bit silly.
It does seem silly. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing is I think it all does have to fall into what is reasonable and what is unreasonable. And I can't imagine getting sued by the state of California and having to defend that in court. It would just be unreasonable. Any would say that's unreasonable.
And it's like most, we're not lawyers. We're not legally interpreting this, right? Yes, I don't know if we need to have a specific disclaimer, but it's like,
we're going to watermark this whole thing. And then you can also, we're going to link to the one where we don't talk about this.
But it's like you're trying to get back to what's the intention of this bill, right? That's how judges will interpret it or whoever in a court of law, if it gets to that, is the intention to mess with someone who's putting a pin on an aerial. It's like, that's not the intention of the bill, I wouldn't think.
No, I don't think so at all. Okay. What about, I think we were just saying kind of the whole ball game on this is like, how does MLS feel about this stuff? And I mean, not the whole ball game, because I think if the state of California thinks one way about it, and there are consumers who know about the law and then all of a sudden buy a house and feel misled, well, now it's very clearly, what the realtor did and what we did was against the law, then there's a bigger avenue for criminal proceedings.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. But it's like, the MLS drives what realtors do, and that ultimately drives what we do. So that's going to be how they interpret it, especially now in the kind of early days. It's like, that's going to be the crux of what we need to start.
Yeah. So, Molly, I believe you have some feedback from the California CLMLS.
It's a CRMLS, California Regional MLS. It's the biggest MLS in the country. Over 100,000 subscribers, I think.
110,000 agents.
So they put out like a bullet point list, I think, of how they interpret it or what. It's basically under their guidance. I sent you a link to it.
What are digitally altered images? Essentially, any image in which virtual components such as furniture or appliances have been added or removed in a listing photo.
Okay, furniture and appliances. Appliances I would get. Furniture, obviously, we talked about virtual staging.
Yeah. Does this include the use of AI such as Imagine Home? Yes, AI altered images count as digitally altered images.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, if you're doing a virtual rendering or a reimagination or renovation, then obviously,
Yeah. Does this rule apply to all edits to an image? No. Minor photographic adjustments such as brightness or color correction are not affected by this rule.
Okay.
So they specifically called out furniture and appliances. So they're kind of, seems like their take is like virtual staging.
Yeah.
Adding and removing items of actual furniture.
Right. Like, what do I need to do with my digitally altered images to stay compliant? A digitally altered image needs to be labeled as such, quote on digitally altered, quote, virtually staged, etc. And the original and unedited image must also be included next to the enhanced image in the listing.
Yeah, in the MLS listing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to add, like, some people may think this is just the MLS. This applies to print, social media, ads.
Right.
Yeah.
And this specifically is about the MLS because, and here's the thing, once those images are next to each other on the MLS, everywhere else, of course, scrapes the MLS feed. So when those go onto Zillow or Homes.com and Redfin, everywhere, and all the 5 million other sites, that's the order that they're going to be in as well. So
yeah, the MLS is that kind of hub for everything. So that's super important.
This is another one. What about surface level changes like wall color or flooring, like we were talking about earlier? In compliance with truth in advertising rules, users cannot add, remove, or modify any real part of a property unless the property is remodeled according to the image prior to close. If an image is digitally altered in any way that affects the property's real elements, it must be similarly labeled and disclosed as established above.
Yeah. And that's something that I feel like has come up over the years anyway. That, there's a hole in the wall and they're like, hey, can you erase that hole in the wall? And I'm like, well, is it going to be fixed by the time it goes on? Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, the guy's coming tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I'd rather do it digitally than have to come back and reshoot it, right? Yes. It just makes more sense for us to do that. So
Exactly.
It's kind of in line. So they say nothing about sky replacements, fireplaces. They're talking about just tangible furniture and appliances.
Yeah, flooring, wall color. I'm looking and I'm not seeing any AI. I mean, they say what happens if I don't disclose that an image is digitally altered. The user will be contacted by the compliance to correct the issue as any user would be for any violation.
Yeah. So it's considered an MLS violation.
Right.
Which certain ones are fine, or if it's a third time
exactly. And
offense.
you'd have to get caught. I mean, it's the one thing. But I think it's on us to, I think with all those MLS stuff, because there's always been the rule like no animals or, there's always some damn rule.
Right. No for sale sign, none of that.
Yeah.
All that
and
stuff.
so I think that we're part of our job is to make sure that our images comply with MLS standards to protect the realtor. And I think we've been doing that for years. And so I think this just falls into that.
Just another notch on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as of right now, there is no fine. However, the CRMLS Rules Committee will revisit the matter of fines in 2026. So this year, they're going to be going over that. And, just when in doubt, err on the side of caution is kind of what they've said.
Sure.
When people are unsure.
And I think that's what we have to do too, is like,
Yeah. So that kind of falls in line with us, like doing our standard sky replacements, not labeling those.
If you question it, just go to the CRMLS page.
Yeah.
And then some of the big brokerages are coming out with their kind of interpretation of it too. I know Redfin just came out with something. We received an email from them. Maybe just.
Do you have that too?
Yeah. The Redfin interpretation effective January 1st. It says real estate professionals must comply with the new transparency law, Assembly Bill 723. The law addresses the use of AI tools and photo editing software in real estate marketing with the goal of ensuring buyers are not misled by digitally perfected property images. As a result, when enhanced or altered images are ordered and paid for, such as digital staging or other significant visual modifications, we will need a clear indicator that discloses the enhancement. This may take the form of a statement or watermark noticing that the image has been digitally altered and it must be delivered adjacent to the corresponding original.
Yeah. So they're not really getting into the nitty gritty of.
But they put important notes based in truth in advertising and avoiding misrepresentation.
Yeah. And I think they had the thing where it's like they see it as a positive where there can be consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know? And I feel that way too. It's like if we're not messing with fires and not doing little things that are going to get potentially our clients in trouble and then us in trouble, then.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be in trouble.
No. And if you're, if you're a renter or a buyer, then I don't want to be misled in what I'm seeing either. No, I don't want to see a crazy photo of misrepresentation and get there and be like disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how we've always kind of gone about it. And, and sometimes it goes like I've thought about it where, sometimes you make the house just by virtue of how we do make our photos, the house sometimes looks better than it does in real life. And, especially on the not quite as nice places. And so you just never want to have someone walk in and be disappointed. And I think this is an extension of that. Because I think it's one thing to walk in and be disappointed, and it's one thing to walk in and feel totally misled. And, those are, that's bad.
Yeah. Nobody wants that.
Right. At the end of the day, it's a good thing. It's all about transparency. With the fire thing, it may cause you guys not to do as much work. And like Reed said, just light a fire if it's able to.
Yeah.
But one of the best things is like it is setting a precedent for other states and MLSs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
And I would potentially, and it's funny. Would I even at this point light an actual fire?
Yeah. You still light fire? I'm like, yeah. I mean, we can't expect our team to do that. Seems insane, right? To like have our team members out there with rolling up newspaper and lighting fires in houses. That seems like a liability nightmare.
Oh gosh.
That's true. It does. And there's definitely the one time, well, there's, I think twice, that I've done it and the flue was closed, which is bad.
Yeah.
And then the smoke comes in the living room.
Yeah. One time though, it was the homeowner was helping me with it. So it was his fault. So,
great. Blame it on them.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. But I don't even want our team turning a gas key and trying to I don't want our team messing with any of that stuff. Forget
exactly.
it. Unless the homeowner or the agent's turning on the fire, then there's no fire.
Right.
Yeah. That's it.
That's something you can.
Yeah. So I was a renegade.
You just whip newspaper out of your back pocket. I got this.
I literally in my camera bag, I always had some newspaper in there.
That's wild.
And I just
always handy.
Yeah. Yeah. It was essential. It was essential. Yeah. I mean, people loved it. Like the homeowners were always like, wow. It really feels like you're going above and beyond.
Yeah.
Life before AI.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah. I just watched this video Nathan Kuhl did about all this stuff. And he made a point in there where he was saying that this is actually an opportunity to drive some extra revenue. I don't know if I'm on the same page as that because, well, if you want to digitally alter, then you need these QR codes. You need this. This is an upcharge that we can sell people.
Yeah.
Oh, I see by Mark's, but the look on Mark's face is he does not agree with that.
Yeah. What are we going to charge to add a QR code? I mean, we're going to have to figure out a workflow to add the watermark. Hopefully, Fotello or Ariel will have some easy way to add watermarks if this becomes more standardized across different markets.
Yeah.
Rather than us having to download it and put it in Photoshop.
Feature request.
Yeah. Do it ourselves or have the VA do it. Like that'd be super nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not hard to add a watermark, but it's still it's a step.
Yeah.
And if you're doing, 8 houses a day and you have to, and then it's not on every image, it's only on these 4. And it's like,
I mean, I can see, some people, the chatter is like, oh, this virtual Twilights are going to be dead now. It's going to drive way more Twilight revenue because everyone's going to want the real Twilight that's not labeled. Which is, for us, the double-edged sword of
of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Twilights are great, but it's like,
someone's got to shoot them.
How many can we do in a week? Yeah.
Depends on how many shooters we have, I guess. We can do, we could do like 20 a week max probably. So yeah.
Sometimes we're all out in the field shooting Twilights all at the same night, doing 3 or 4 a night, which is
and I raise my glass to you at those times.
We appreciate that
because I'll be home. Well, someone's got an admin at that time. Yeah. All right. So that's photography. It doesn't say anything about video, right? So
that's the big
it's
one
video
to me,
next. And I think, a lot of and again, it goes back to all these, quote unquote videos that are made by animating photos, basically. I mean, it just seems to me that it's just got to be disclosed, and I don't even know that the MLS are gonna take those.
Yeah, I know. I feel like you and I are on the same page there, where it's just like when you're moving through an image and creating spaces and objects that are not visible. Like, it's almost like AI has like affected video even more than photo in the way that it's like kind of come about in our industry.
And it looks real.
Yeah,
I mean, it absolutely does. But you know, I just don't.
And then suddenly you're switching from a day to a virtual twilight, and then zoom, and it's just like the whole thing is like all been AI manipulated. So maybe that's, you know, round 2 of this kind of legislature is like this kind of bill is like videos next.
Well, because I do think that when people think of real estate marketing, they're not thinking about the video and because the photos are the thing that are front and center, and it's what that's what everyone sees on Zillow. I mean, obviously videos get up there too, but you know, as much as we like to sell video, it does feel like video is often more for the social media.
Yeah,
and less
it's more secondary for sure. The photo,
and I don't think it's front and center on the MLS, and the photos are like the thing that the MLS cares about. So, but you know, I would just say if you're producing any type of AI video, that needs to be probably watermarked and disclosed.
Yeah, I mean, I know when you're posting stuff on Instagram, it has to be AI labeled, or there's AI tabs you can turn on and off in there to make sure you're right. And I don't see that on a lot of real estate videos.
Right, and you know, but even in like natively shot video, I mean, I think there's so much AI can do to that as well. And so I think you're looking at a lot of the same type of things.
Yeah.
And
whether you're virtually staging a video shot or pushing in or whatever, like all of that
or
stuff.
just, erasing items and, I'm sure there's a lot, stuff makes it way easier to do that than, going in After Effects or Premiere.
For sure. Yeah, no, obviously this all affects California right now, but it feels like this is kind of setting a precedent for the country and potentially beyond to like.
Yeah. Well, and one other point that I remember from Nathan's video that I think is worth bringing up is he pointed out that Nano Banana and ChatGPT, if you're trying to use those for anything, for virtual staging or whatever, they're actually rebuilding the entire photo,
right?
And it is not always accurate. So I think when you're using like the AI editors that we use, such as Fotello, I don't believe they're rebuilding the image. They're just like it's basically a shortcut on editing the photos, not completely remaking them.
Yeah. But I've played around with some of the different like AI virtual stagers, and suddenly you're like, the cabinet door has changed, or you're like, what the heck is going on?
Right.
Like they're really affecting the structure, or the wall gets skinnier or wider, and you're just like,
you just got to be so careful with that stuff.
So when you're completely rebuilding an image, then that has to be disclosed, obviously.
Yeah, and then you're like, it's not even. I mean, it's completely just a total fabrication.
Yeah, it's a rendering at that point.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So I mean, if you treat it as a rendering, I think it's fine.
But, and disclose it and label it, and then but then what do you have, the unrendered original? I guess I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know either. Well, all that takes action, and it's time for action items.
We got there. All right, look at us.
Our action items today are sponsored by Pixel CRM, the only CRM that is made by a real estate photographer for real estate photographers and media professionals. It's an amazing tool, fully fleshed out. You can do so many things with Pixel CRM. I urge you to check it out. It's Pixel CRM. That's PIXLCRM.com. And if you add right after that.com, if you add a little /Upmarket, you're going to be able to get a free month of service to check it out. So check out pixelcrm.com /Upmarket. I mean, I have one.
Let's hear it.
Make a watermark. That is my action item, is make sure that you have your watermark that looks good and, that says, not for your business, for that goes back to this topic that we're doing. This is digitally altered or virtually staged or whatever, and here's the sneaky thing I think you can do, which I just thought of. Make sure that watermark, the text in that watermark is the font in your logo. Because you can't put your watermark on these photos, right?
Interesting. It's like a sneaky little branding move. Dude, look at this guy.
Oh, action item. Oh, that was a good one. But so if in some way your watermark can reference your brand without referencing your brand, that's the way to go. It's like our file naming hack, where we put our name first, not the property address. So everyone always sees it when they're on the MLS.
I like it, because then you got all these different competitors, photographers in your community, right? In your market, they're all going to be adding their own watermarks. So you might as well add something that recognizes you, makes you stand out.
Exactly.
Love it.
Oh, all right. Because it was really going to be a lame action item, and then I just thought of that little twist, and I was like, oh.
I love that. So my action item's kind of similar, but
good.
It's basically like we want to be kind of ahead of this conversation. So I feel like an action item for us in this room and anyone in California who's doing this kind of stuff is you need to let your clients know. Like, we should put a video out letting our clients know, hey, we're aware of California Assembly Bill 723. These are the things we're doing. This is where you find the QR code if you needed an area or whatever, like something that lets them know that, because they're already hearing it, because we're hearing it from agents. They're hearing it from their brokers, from their MLS. So we need to, rather than them coming to us and saying, oh, this, like, we need to be ahead of it and kind of be the voice of, this is happening. We're on top of it. We're going to provide you what you need.
Right. All right. Good point, Molly. That's our plan.
I like it.
Yeah, okay, good.
Let's do it.
Well, Molly, thank you very much for producing the show. Yeah, and Mark, it's good.
It might not be as sexy next time, but
every week. Thank you, of course, to all our sponsors. Thank you to, most of all, our listeners and our viewers on YouTube.
Now, come on, all those viewers.
Upmarket Pod on YouTube. Thank you, and we'll be back next week. Look at that. All right,
bring it on.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Upmarket is a production of Upmarket Studios and is produced by Molly Peart and edited by Bethany Dietrich. Our wish for you this week is to not have to do any Friday Night Twilight shoots. Thank you for everything.